Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another great season of Eisenhower football. I am Chris Wright alongside Stephen McDonald here for my first season. Very excited to be here, and we got a great game for you to start this football season. Lake Orion Dragons are here against Eisenhower. Now, Stephen, what are some key points that Eisenhower needs to get their first win of the year?
Yeah, so Chris, a bit of a disappointing season a year ago for this Eagles team. 1-8, 0-5 in the MAC Red. We'll get to the MAC Red a little bit later on here this year, but a couple things that I noticed from this team last year, which we'll talk about throughout this game and throughout the regular season as well for this Eagles team. One of the biggest things that I'm going to be watching for in this game is their ability defensively to stop the run. The Eagles gave up around 200 yards rushing per game a year ago, over 350 to this Lake Orion team week one last season. So again, that's something that they're going to have to tighten up here this year.
We got to speak to the head ball coach right before the game. Let's go to him.
Coach, new season, fresh start for the Eagles. What are some expectations you have for your squad?
So really the expectations is that they're competing this year. They're playing, from the first snap all the way to the last whistle, playing hard, playing tough football, just like Eisenhower's always been known for, with your toughness and your playing hard. And being able to compete. We want kids out there competing, and that's really our expectation for these kids this year.
Good group of returning starters. You and I talked about it before we came on the air. What do they need to do to take the next step in their high school career?
Well, a lot of it has to do with confidence. Kid's got to have confidence in what he's doing, in the plays that he's running, and the defensive schemes that he's running. So confidence comes first, and you build that confidence playing games. You just don't do it in practice. You work your techniques and things in practice, and then you try to carry them over to the games. And I think getting that game experience will help in that area.
First up, Lake Orion, looking for a little revenge tonight. What does your game plan look like going into the first game of the year?
Well, our game plan is going to be we're going to fly around. We're going to be aggressive on offense and defense. We're going to try to score a lot of points, and we're going to try to stop from scoring. I mean, that's all football is, right?
We thank Coach for taking a few minutes out of his time to speak with us before the game today. Now, Stephen, Utica Eisenhower, they lost to Lake Orion last year. What has Lake Orion got for the Eagles?
Well, one thing, like I said before with Eisenhower, they have to be able to stop the run.
That's right.
That's equally as important in this game for Lake Orion. They ran, like I said, for over 350 yards on this Eisenhower defense a year ago. A lot of those same guys from that Eagles defense playing again here this season on that defense. So I'm sure they remember that game, as does Lake Orion. So how they're able to control the clock with their running game and be able to push the ball down the field and into the end zone is going to be a key for them here tonight.
We'll be back with the start of tonight's game, Lake Orion at Eisenhower Eagle football, right after this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, again. My name is Chris Wright, joined alongside with Stephen McDonald. Ready for some Eagle football. The kick is away, and we are underway for the 2022 season. It's going to be a touchback, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, and Chris, the Eagles will get the ball to start here tonight from Swinehart Field. I'm really interested, really excited to see this Eagles offense led by junior quarterback Preston Crum. I've been watching him since he was a freshman starting on varsity, so kind of crazy that now he's already in his junior season, but really excited to see what he has in store in this junior season. Missed a couple games last year as a sophomore due to injury. They slid Aiden Ives, who's now graduated, into that quarterback spot from receiver. So really interested. Hopefully we get to see a full year of Preston Crum here this year, and like I said, ready to see hopefully that next step from him.
Well, here comes his first snap of his junior season. Crum in the shotgun. Terrell in motion, he'll take the handoff. Round all the way to the right, gets knocked out of bounds. That was Tayshawn Terrell with the run, about 6 yards on that carry.
And one thing I noticed, Chris, when we were down on the field, as you see the replay there, one thing I noticed when we were down on the field in pregame was how big the receivers, how tall they are, especially on both sides for both Lake Orion and Eisenhower. So it's going to be really fun to see how Eisenhower utilizes these big, tall, athletic receivers in this spread offense.
2nd and 2 now after an 8-yard run. Crum gets the snap, he'll hand it off. Trying to get around a corner, but unable to. Looks like we're going to get no gain. That was number 32, Bennett Cardamone, on the carry.
Yeah, Cardamone's a guy that's going to see, if I had to guess, his fair share of carries this season, as will number 33 in blue, Christian Johnson, has been on this varsity squad since he was a sophomore. A guy that I'm, along with Preston Crum in this offense, a guy in Johnson that I'm really excited also to see run the football this year.
3rd down and 2. First 3rd down of the season. See if they're able to convert here. Crum takes the snap. Looking over his options. He'll throw it right down the middle, wide open. Number 7, Luke Aniel gets all the way down to the 30, a big first down.
Yeah, Luke O'Neill, a guy that in years past had made his presence known on the defensive side of the football. He lines up at defensive end when he's on that side of the ball. Here lines up as a tight end, right down the seam, and Crum, easy pitch and catch down the seam for a big 3rd down conversion.
Just got to find the holes in that defense. That's going to get you some points. Crum will take the snap. He'll hand it off right up the middle. That's number 32, Cardamone again.
Actually looks like Christian Johnson on that carry.
33, excuse me.
And one thing as we take a look at the replay, and you'll see it here, one thing that we talked about off the air before tonight's game was I love the way he runs. He's athletic, but he's also really physical, and you saw there, he falls forward on every run.
About a 1-yard gain there. It's 2nd and 9. Crum gets a snap, looking left, he'll throw it deep to the end zone. Just short, going for number 12, that's Hayden Bills. Number 7 for the Dragons, Matt Pakmara, the 3rd on the defense.
Yeah, really good positioning by the defensive back, Pakmara. Just a little more air needed on that ball from Crum.
Here comes 3rd down and 9 now from the Dragon 30. First drive of the game for the Eagles. Crum takes the snap. Throw the screen. Blockers in front, going all around right. He'll get a first down. Number 32, Bennett Cardamone, with a big reception, first down, move the chains.
And an excellent play call by offensive coordinator Joe Youngblood. Sees the pressure coming off the edge, so he throws the screen right at it and beats it for the first down.
Looked like there was a little bit of trouble there to start that play, but a beautiful screen, and it's a first down.
And a couple nice, easy throws for Crum to start, really get his confidence going. That's something that I really like that Coach Youngblood's been able to do here on this first drive.
Crum will hand the ball off. Looks to be about half a yard, maybe less. That was Cardamone. excuse me, 33, Christian Johnson.
And I've liked the balance on this drive so far between the run and the pass, and especially balancing it between Cardamone and Johnson getting those carries. And you have to feel like at some point, maybe not on this drive necessarily, but at some point, the Eagles are going to look to break one soon.
3 to his left, 1 to his right. Crum looking left, he's got wide open. Touchdown! Luca Neal in the corner of the end zone. 6-0 to start the game.
And I mean, you can't get more wide open than Luca Neal was in the end zone, right at that Eagles logo in the left corner of the end zone. But that pump fake that Crum threw, that defensive back absolutely bid on it, and that allowed Luca Neal to just slide right past him to the end zone.
Fino for the kick, and it's good. One drive, one touchdown, 7-0. Eisenhower takes the lead. This broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Shelby TV. No reproduction, retransmission, or redistribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Shelby TV.
Your Macomb County prosecutor, official athletic boosters for 2.
I'll tell you what, Chris, that possession, that first possession by the Eagles offense, they made it look easy at times. I know Lake Orion was able to stop the run a bit there, whether it was Cardamone or Johnson, but when they went to the air, they put that ball in Preston Crum's hands, That's exactly what I want to see from him. That's when you take that upperclassman quarterback, you put the ball in his hands, and you say, hey, go make a play for us.
Not only that, a great drive. 2 third downs converted on that drive. Great way to start this game, start this season.
And now, as we talked about in pregame, this is where the test comes in. This Eisenhower defense will take the field for the first time this season, and I'm excited to see what their defense, especially trying to stop the run against Lake Orion, what they can do.
Officials with a hold up before the kickoff, but we're ready to go. Kick is away, but we're going to get a whistle. Legal procedure, false start on Eisenhower. They'll move that ball back 5 yards and re-kick.
And that's one of those things, it's week 1, so these guys are obviously amped up, they're ready to go, they're excited, they're gonna be a little bit jumpy, and that's something that I think you might have seen right there.
Great day to start this football season. Cannot wait to get deeper, get a little cooler temps, get some real football weather. But today, 81 degrees at game time. We're going to get another whistle before this kick. See if the referees are going to penalize him again.
Looks like they are marking it off against Eisenhower again.
Another false start penalty. Now this is just going to help the Dragons here. You know, they can get a lot of yards here off this kickoff.
Yeah, it definitely improves their field position pending this kick. We'll see how far it goes, but again, back-to-back penalties like that has to drive special teams coordinator Travis Maltop crazy. I can let that first one slide. Like I said, you're energized, you're ready to go, you're excited. I get it, but to do it back-to-back plays, that's just a little too self-inflicting.
That one does get away. Goes all the way to the 3-yard line. Dragons are going to take it back. And they'll get to about the 25. They'll mark it at the 27. And the Dragons will take over from there.
And as we see the teams take the field, Lake Orion with their offense for the first time tonight, and the Eagles sending their defense out for the first time. One thing that we talked about with head coach Chris Smith before the game, and something I believe he mentioned in your interview with him during pregame, was this team was definitely young, sort of inexperienced a year ago, especially on the defensive side of the football. Many of those guys, most of those guys, he said, are back this year, so it'll be interesting to see how they play.
Looks like there was an infraction on that play, and the Dragons go all the way back to the 18-yard line, and they will start 1st and 10 from there. Quarterback Connor McCartan under center. He'll take the snap, hand it off. Fumble on the ground, picked up by the Eagles. That ball just popped out of nowhere. There to pick it up, number 21, Ryan Palesi.
And it looks like Luke Myers sprinted to the sideline. May have been in on that play.
See if we can see on the replay.
Yeah, he's the one that picks up the
Luke
fumble.
Myers, there it is. Senior on this team. Great momentum here for the Eagles.
So what a way to start for the Eagles defense. One play, they go run, and not only do you stop it, you force the turnover.
Handoff, faked. Oh, looking to go wide right, but he just fell down. That pass was intended for number 85, Connor Temple. Just slipped. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it looks like Temple cut inside. Crum was expecting him to cut outside. Bit of a miscommunication there, but again, it's week 1 and it's the first quarter. That's something that as the weeks go on, they'll get that down.
Ball on the 16, 2nd and 10 now. Crum in the pistol. Take the snap. He will hand it off this time. Unable to get anywhere is number 33, Christian Johnson. See what the official is. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 10 now.
And we talked about 2 third-down conversions on that opening drive for the Eagles. They have one here. Let's see if they can make it 3 for 3 to start the night.
Crum's got Johnson to his right. He's looking left. He'll pass to the corner of the end zone and just overthrows his receiver in double coverage, intended for Hayden Bills. This will be a 4th down.
Yeah, and I may have mentioned earlier how tall these receivers are on both sides, but that one just a little bit too tall for Bills there. And the throw by Crum was a decent throw, but you see there from the snap, basically looking left the entire way, brought that safety over the top. So a bit of a dangerous throw there, but luckily enough, he just threw it out of bounds.
Sal Ruffino here to try this field goal. About 34 yards. Kick is up, and it goes short. No good. So no damage done from the fumble. See if the defense can keep that momentum that they had from the last drive. Stop them on 3 straight plays right here.
Well, we know if nothing else that Eagles defense is going to be fresh coming back on the field. And if you're the Dragons offense, you have another shot at it. Make up for the fumble on your first possession.
McCartan under center here. Nobody in the backfield. He will hand it off. Coming around the left side, breaking a tackle, and he gets all the way down to the 37-yard line. That's number 10, Dorian Hill. On the jet sweep there.
Strong run by the senior. Makes a couple guys miss there as he got outside. Made a couple Eagles collide with one another.
1st and 10 from the 36. Another handoff here right up the middle. Eagles are able to make a stop after about 2 or 3 yards there. Dragons seem to be a little up-tempo here to start this game.
Yeah, they won't necessarily huddle on this play. They'll check with the sideline, then get themselves set. But yeah, a bit of a faster pace to their game so far.
McCartan under center. He'll hand it off up the middle. It's a short run there down to the 49-yard line, up the middle. That was number 3, Billy Robertson.
And they're quickly up to the ball again.
3rd and 2 now. He'll pitch the ball back to Robertson. Trying to get around a corner. He is stopped before a first down, right at that 45-yard line there. About a yard short of the marker.
And an excellent job out on the edge by this Eagles defense. Couple Eagles getting in there on the tackle.
They're going for it here.
Cody Raymond was one in on the stop, as was Luke Myers. Second time we've called his name already tonight.
Changing the play at the line.
Eagles showing pressure.
Carton takes the snap, runs into his running back, but he's able to break through the pile all the way down to the Eagle 48-yard line. That is a first down for the Dragons. Billy Robertson able to just find the lane right here. Looked like some trouble there, but is able to get the first down.
And I'm sure if we were to ask head coach Chris Bell about that run, it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done all the same.
They'll take the snap, hand it back to Robertson. Just falling forward, he's able to get about a yard there. He's 2nd down and 9.
And a strong play on that play by the Eagles defensive line, just shoving the interior of the Dragons offensive line back into the backfield. That's where you saw the running back had that little collision.
That was one point. That was one point that Chris Smith had to tell us. They got a lot bigger on that O-line and D-line, so it's very exciting to see here for the Eagles this year.
Yeah, when you have a younger team, primarily sophomores and juniors like they did a year ago, now those guys are juniors and seniors. They get a little older, they get a little bigger, a little bit stronger, and like you said, that's what we're seeing on both sides of the line of scrimmage so far here tonight.
Darren Jones had that run up the middle for no gain. It is 3rd and 9 now for the Dragons. McCartan in the shotgun. He's got Robertson to his right, looking to pass. Coming from behind, another strip sack, picked up. Let's see what they call. No, they're going to call 4th down. They're going to say
Billy Robertson jumped on that ball. Looked like the Eagles might have gotten on top of it first, but Robertson, the second, is the one that comes off the pile.
Let's look at the replay here. Beautiful strip sack.
And Chris, that's something when he was making those catches on offense earlier, I said Luke O'Neal's usually making his money on the defensive side. He's the one that got the strip there.
There he is. Timeout called by the Eagles. That was one thing that I did get a chance to talk to Chris Smith about, the head coach, earlier, talking about who, if anybody's going to play both offense and defense, he doesn't like to do it. You know, he wants to try to keep his players fresh, try to be able to, you know, give them a chance to play what they are good at. But you're seeing Luke O'Neal here, caught a touchdown, got a strip sack right there. But you know, we'll see if he continues to play both ways.
Yeah, and so far, really liking what I'm seeing with this Eagles defense, especially up front in that front 7. They have Lake Orion backed up all the way to 4th and 20 on their half of the field. They really had just that one run early on that they gave up, but so far 2 fumbles forced, 1 recovered. So if you're their defensive coordinator, you can't complain too much.
Here comes the punt from the Dragons. Swirling punt all the way back. It'll land at the 10. Are they gonna? They're gonna say that a Eagle touched it, and it's gonna be Dragon Ball, the Eagle 2.
And that is about as unfortunate as it gets for the Eagles defense. You get the stop, it's a big stop, 4th and 20. As we try to see, yeah, it looks like number 30 tried to jump on it, just misplayed it.
Slipped right out from under him.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Charles, a junior on this Eagles team, and unfortunately now for Eisenhower, that sends their defense right back out on the field after they thought a moment ago they had a stop, and now to make matters worse, they're backed up to their 2-yard line.
1st and goal now for the Dragons. McCartan takes the snap. He'll hand it off, and that is a touchdown. Lake Orion Dragons.
Hold on, they're still clearing the pile, but Lake Orion's celebrating like they got in, and now we see the touchdown. So yeah, like I said, disappointing sequence of events if you're Eisenhower, and especially defensive coordinator David Brzezinski. You thought your team got off the field, give it right back, one play and they're into the end zone.
Kick is up, and it is good. Lake Orion able to tie this game. 3:42 left here in the first quarter. A lot of back and forth, but it does seem like Eisenhower has the better team so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, so far I think outside of obviously the few special teams mistakes we've seen on the kickoff, we saw the 2 offsides penalties on the Eagles, then they fumbled the punt here just a moment ago. Other than that, I feel like, as you said, they've really played the better executed game so far. They've been able, for the most part, to stop the run, which was a big thing coming into this contest. We've also seen them air it out offensively with Preston Crum finding Luke O'Neill a few times on some deep passes. Also set up that screen pass as well earlier on in this quarter.
Well, here we are back in the booth. It's 7-7 here early on. We'll see if the offense is able to pick up where the special teams has kind of failed them. See if they're able to get 7 more points on this drive.
And you know, Chris, that's something that even going back to last year when I was doing these games for Eisenhower, that's something that we talked about a lot on the broadcast, was just little things like special teams and just being able to execute in that part of the game and just doing those little things right is something that really hurt this Eisenhower team a year ago. And like I said earlier, I get that it's week 1. These kinds of things happen. You tend to work on those things and improve on those little things as the year goes on. But again, that's something that hurt them last year, and you don't, if you're Eisenhower, want to see that hurt you again this year.
Kick is away, taken at the 2. They get all the way down to about the 22. That's number 2, Tayshawn Terrell, with the return.
Yeah, these skill guys for Eisenhower are just freakishly long and athletic. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch this season, especially if Preston Crum can be making the kinds of throws that he's made here in the first quarter. Giving those guys an opportunity to go up and make a play on a ball is going to be really exciting for this offense.
Crum will take the snap. He'll throw to a Neal. Breaks one tackle, trying to get around the left. Down the sideline, he'll get tackled there at about the 40-yard line. A pickup, 18 right off the bat. Offense right back, rolling.
And as we move throughout this game, it's becoming more and more apparent as they keep going back to him that the Dragons will have to find a way to cover number 7 in blue, Luke O'Neill, as this game goes along, because so far they've gone to him about 3 times. They're 3 for 3 on those throws, and there's really been no coverage around him on those plays.
He'll take the snap, fake the handoff, looking down the middle. Beautiful catch there, number 32, Bennett Cardamone. Another first down for the Eagles.
And unfortunately for Lake Orion, not much that number 8 in white, Corbin Smith, could have done on that play as we see the replay. Cardamone just goes right up in front of him, takes that ball out of the air. And like I said, Chris, these guys, these receivers for Eisenhower are super long, super athletic, and they are out here just making plays already.
He'll throw it to the flat, just out of reach for Cardamone there. It'll be 2nd down and 10. But there's a lot of offensive weapons on this Eisenhower team. Very excited to see what they do this season. And we've seen a little bit of it today with Cardamone, Johnson, and O'Neal. It's no coincidence that all 3 of those names are also all seniors playing out their final year here. Crum takes a snap, he's looking right, he's gonna throw it deep and falling down. They're gonna get a flag. Intended for Tayshawn Terrell, it's gonna be a pass interference.
Yeah, and to your point, Chris, about how these guys are now juniors and seniors, these are guys that have been on varsity for about a year or 2 now. You even talk about a guy like Preston Crum. We talked about he's been a starting quarterback on this team since he was a freshman now in his junior season. These guys have played a lot of football for this team now, which is something that I don't think a year ago this time that they necessarily could have said. So even though, yeah, you did go 1-8 a year ago, it was definitely a down year by this team's standards. I think they learned a lot from that experience. You grow through that adversity, and that should, in theory, hook them up pretty well this year.
Pass interference has the ball down to the Dragon 22. 1st and 10 now. He'll take the snap. Throw right up the middle, wide open. Touchdown, Eagles! Number 85, Connor Temple. And just like that, the Eagles are up 13-7.
And I love, absolutely love, the play action calls here in the 1st quarter from offensive coordinator Joe Youngblood. Goes back to it there. And what an excellent job on that play action by Preston Crum. Looks to his right, drags that safety across the field, then throws back to the opposite seam, right where that safety started from, and his man Temple was wide open.
Bad snap, but Ruffino is able to get the ball through the uprights. It is now 14-7. Just a perfect placement there for number 85, Connor Temple, the sophomore. His 1st touchdown of the year, 14-7. Touchdown again, right up the middle. Perfectly drawn up.
So we've got 2:18 to go here in the 1st quarter from Swinehart Field. And this has been a really fun game, really energetic. This crowd here on hand at Swinehart Field is absolutely packed, overflowing on both sides. So just an excellent environment here in week 1 of MHSAA football.
Great to see the town, both towns, coming out to support both these teams. Kick is away with no penalty. Ball will bounce. That's a live ball, by the way. But he will jump on it, and it still will stick with the Dragons. 1st down coming up.
And you mentioned, Chris, both sides, Lake Orion and Eisenhower especially, showing out here tonight in support of their teams. Neither team really had a strong year a year ago. Eisenhower, as we said, 1-8 last year. Lake Orion 3-6 in their respect. So both teams having somewhat of a down year last year, but clearly both sides believe that there is something around this team here this year to get excited about.
1st and 10 now from the 23-yard line. He'll take the snap, hand it up up the middle. like he might lose a yard on that one. They're going to say no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. That was Tristan Hill taking the snap on that play. He's still behind center. He'll pitch it. And right in the backfield, a beautiful tackle for loss.
Looks like Lorenzo Mocheri, number 23. And that's definitely a good sign in the early going. If you're defensive coordinator David Brzezinski, seeing your guys meeting the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage right there in the hole and being able to make that tackle. Saw some missed tackles at times a year ago, and that's something they've definitely cleaned up.
Hill avoids the sack. He's going to run it now. Ball pops out. Unable to grab it. The Dragons are able to land on it, but that was a huge hit in the open field. Hill just coming in for his first series there. It's going to be 4th down and 8, I believe.
And Samuel Blakely, the big offensive lineman, right place, right time, as that ball just shot out of there. Just falls on top of it to at least save possession for Lake Orion.
One key point to remember now, this is the 3rd drive, really the 4th drive with that fumble on the punt. 3 forced fumbles for this Eagle defense. Punt lands at about the 42. Looked like he might have touched it again, but they're going to say no, it's just going to roll. All the way down to the 26-yard line. It'll be Eagle football.
And Chris, you talked about those 3 forced fumbles, really essentially on, let's say, 3.5 possessions here. That's something that when you talk to head coach Chris Smith in pregame, he said, on both sides of the ball, it's simple. We just want to fly around, make plays, just try to do what we can, and that's something that defensively, this team has taken that to heart. They've taken that challenge head on and said, hey, you know what? We got ran over a lot last year. I talked about in pregame. This Lake Orion team ran for 350 yards against them a year ago. These guys remember that. They want to make things different this time around.
Crum now takes a snap. He'll hand it off up the middle. Open lane. Taking jukes, he's breaking tackles all the way down. He's still up at the 40. Finally brought down, number 32, Bennett Cardamone. A huge run, and it's going to be 1st down.
And Chris, the Cardamones know how to do one thing here at Eisenhower, and that is run and run hard. His brother played on the team a couple of years ago. He was a hard physical runner as well. And Bennett just bouncing off would-be tacklers all the way down the far sideline and just getting a huge gain to end the 1st quarter.
So that is the end of the 1st quarter. The Eagles have a 14-7 lead against Lake Orion Dragons. Before we get to the 2nd quarter, we want to take a moment to talk about the Shelby Township Police Department's 2022 open house.
Yeah, they'll have a K-9 demonstration at 11 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Also drone demonstrations. They'll also have the Shelby Township Tactical Response Unit on hand as well. You get an inside look at police vehicles and equipment. There will be a bounce house on location as well. Hot dogs and snacks, also prize drawing as well on schedule. Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 52530 Van Dyke Avenue, Shelby Township, 48316.
Anywhere that there's free hot dogs, you can find me.
Very exciting. I don't know, Chris. I think they had me at Bounce House.
Oh, the bounce house. You're going to take a few jumps there? I think I might tear my ACL. We're going to get started here with the 2nd quarter. Ball is at the Dragon 41.
Now we see Eisenhower quick to the line, something Lake Orion did a couple times in the 1st.
Crum takes the snap, he'll pitch it to Terrell. Terrell getting around a corner. See where they mark him out. About the 39-yard line, that's a gain of 2 on the play.
And that's a play, they run it to Tayshawn Terrell here this year, but if you go back last year, even 2 years ago, that's a play that would have been run through a guy named Daniel Zilkowski, obviously graduated now.
Crum takes the snap, he'll hand it off to Cardamone again. Another 2 or 3 yards on that carry. It'll be 3rd down and 6 now for the Eagles.
And I'd expect at this point in the field with that down and distance that the Eagles are going to throw something here with Preston Crum, but I like that they've now seen that they've established the passing game with Crum, especially through play action. Now they're starting to hammer the ground game a little bit more, but again, I'd expect something here through the air.
Crum takes the snap, looking right. He'll throw it low. They're going to say a good catch made. Number 85, Connor Temple again. It's going to be 4th down and 1. They're hurrying up the line, though.
Yeah, they're trying to catch Lake Orion substituting. And looks like somebody jumped near the top of the formation.
Start on the Eagles. So now that 4th and 1 brings them right back to 4th and 6 now. Procedure penalties the coaching staff cannot be happy about. Crum takes the snap. Looking right, he's just going to run it himself. Breaks 1 tackle, unable to break a second, and it's going to be Lake Orion ball at about the 35-yard line, unable to get the 1st down with his legs. And they turn it over on downs.
And I like that read by Preston Crum. He was looking right his whole way. He had 2 receivers to that side of the formation. His read is most likely in that case look 1, look 2. If neither of those are there, tuck and run, which he did, and just a little bit too far behind the sticks to be able to get that 1st down.
1st and 10 now for the Dragons on their own 34-yard line. Eagles with a 14-7 lead. Handoff now, around the corner, and tackled from behind. That is number 22, Darren Jones Jr. Sophomore running back. And back in the game at quarterback, number 12, Connor McCartan. It's going to be 2nd and 4 now for the Dragons. Carton takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Robertson. Robertson able to get about 2 yards on the carry up the middle. It's going to make it 3rd and 2 now. Dragons rushing up the line. He takes the snap, hands it off on a jet sweep, trying to get around a corner, and he does, able to get the 1st down. That is number 10, Dominic Novak, on the jet sweep.
Yeah, good job getting outside, stretching that run out. Eagles forced him all the way to the sideline, but just able to get vertical with it as he hits that sideline. You see there, makes a man miss, lowers his shoulder right at the line to gain and able to get that extra yard or 2.
Excuse me, that was Dorian Hill. McCartan hands it off again up the left side to Robertson. He's able to get about 3 yards on that carry.
And one individual matchup right now, Chris, that I'm going to keep an eye on, I've been paying attention to it on this drive, is 76 in white, Jacob Escobedo, lined up on Luca Neal, and see who's winning that matchup currently.
Carton with a play action, rolling to his right. He's going to run for it, put his head down instead of going out of bounds, and he'll get about 3 on that carry. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 or 4. Excuse me, 3rd down and 2. This has got to be 4 down territory for the Dragons, though.
Yeah, Yeah, I would imagine it would be right around midfield. Can't really, at this point, flip the field too much. So might as well go for it.
Pitch to Robertson. Breaking tackles. Up the left side, up the sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A big gain for a first down for the Dragons.
Yeah, Brandon Kedro, the last line of the defense from his safety position, comes in, finally pulls him down out of bounds. Had some help along the way as well.
So far, this has been the best drive the Dragons have been able to get together tonight.
Yeah, they're starting to move some bodies along that line of scrimmage now. Their offensive line really settling in nicely.
He'll hand the ball off, taken down. There's number 20, Nathan Byrne on the tackle. Robertson gains about 4 on that play. It's second down and 6.
And if you're Lake Orion, you can live with this, getting 4, 5, 6 yards a carry on these runs.
He'll hand the ball off again. That's Dorian Hill. Stopped for no gain. Big stop by the Eagles. Third down coming up.
Yeah, and this is really where the Eagles need to be sort of bend but don't break in this part of the field, especially this down and distance, third down and 6, and get off the field and get the ball back to their offense. But also, as we've talked about, can't have those mishaps in the special teams game either.
Carton takes the snap. Looking. He's able to get sacked, but we got a penalty flag. Each side pointed to the other here.
Yeah, Eisenhower seems convinced it's on the Dragons.
Face mask, defense.
And I guess if they thought that, they'd be wrong.
Let's see this on the replay here. See if we can see what happened. Can't see anything there. That was number 33, Christian Johnson.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it was Johnson, as he was going down to the ground, was tangled up with a Dragons offensive lineman.
Third down and 5, run up the middle. They're going to say he did not get the first down. Yeah, looks like they're going to say fourth down and inches. Let's see if the Dragons can continue this drive or if the Eagles get a stop. He'll take the snap, run up the middle, and he'll get the first down.
Yeah, they'll mark him at the 14, so got a couple on that run. Good run on 4th and short, just driving his way through that pile. Not really much room for him to wiggle through, but did find just a bit of a crease.
First down and 10, McCartan takes the snap. Delayed handoff to Robertson, and he's able to trip his way for about 3 or 4 yards there. It'll be second down. Clock continues to roll, just under 6 minutes here left in the first half.
And it's going to be so important for the Dragons to come away with points on this possession in case they do not get the ball back before the half, although they should get the ball to start the second half.
Carton fakes the handoff. He'll throw, goes over the head. Intended for number 20, Caleb Jones. It'll be third down and 7.
And one thing sort of maybe going a little bit unnoticed in this first half for the Eagles defense is the play of their secondary. I mean, the Dragons haven't necessarily aired it out a ton in this first half, but when they have, McCartan hasn't had too many options to go to.
Big third down here for the Dragons. Carton takes the snap, looking to throw across the middle, incomplete. Just through the hands, number 22, Darren Jones Jr.
And the Dragons trying to beat Eisenhower almost at their own game. Little play fake, drop back, try to throw over the middle, but Again, the Eagles secondary hasn't given him much to work with in the passing game so far in this first half.
Now for the field goal, it's number 25, Will Hoffman. Kick is up, and it's good. With 5:22 here to go in the first half, the Dragons add 3. It is now 14-10. The Eisenhower Eagles have the lead.
I know.
As we see a shot of the Lake Orion students in attendance here tonight. As we said earlier in this half, both sides really filling up the stands here in week 1 from Swinehart Field. Looking forward to the rest of this season here on Shelby TV as the season rolls along.
See if the Eagles are able to get some points here with just over 5 minutes to go here.
Yeah,
before the half.
tons of time left, as you said, 5:22 to go. Also have 2 timeouts to work with, and it never hurts playing with the lead as well. Something that last year probably didn't have too many chances to play with the lead, so getting off to that good start here this year, have that good feeling going into the locker room, and have that confidence going into the second half is going to be big for them.
A pooch kick here. Rolls all the way down to the 8-yard line, picked up. Running down the right sideline, he'll be pushed out of bounds. About 28-yard line, I'll say. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
And I would expect that offensive coordinator Joe Youngblood won't necessarily go into a shell offensively here. Like we said, plenty of time left in the half. Still would like to see them put it in the hands of Preston Crum, let him sling it around a few more times here in this first half and see if they can't move this ball down into scoring position.
Crum takes the snap, he'll hand it off. Running up the middle, bouncing off tackles. Legs are still moving. And they'll give him about 3 yards on that carry. That was Bennett Cardamone.
Yeah, it's really fun watching these Eagle running backs with the ball in their hands, always keep their feet moving, always trying to fall forward for extra yardage, and that's something that you saw there on that last run. Even if he didn't get much on the run, only got about 2 or 3, but just always trying to get that extra yard.
If you can average 3 yards a carry, that's going to win you a game. 2nd and 7 now for the Eagles. Crum takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's going to roll out. Still looking downfield, but he'll tuck it and get pushed out of bounds after gain about 3 or 4 there. 3rd down and short coming up.
And again, a good decision by Crum. The pressure was obviously coming, as you see 41 there in white tracking him in the backfield. But again, a good decision just to tuck it and run and try and at least get a few yards out of it to set themselves up with an easy 3rd down and 2.
3rd down and 2. Clock stopped at 4:23. If they're not able to get this, they don't want to leave a whole lot of time for Lake Orion. Crum's got 2 to his left, 2 to his right. Looking right. He'll throw it complete. And taken down. Pass to Tayshawn Terrell. It's a 1st down for Eisenhower.
Yeah, nice, easy hitch route. Just come back, puts it right on him. Easy conversion for the 1st down. And like I said earlier in the half, I like the reads that Crum is making. It's read 1, read 2, take off and run. There looks like he found his 1st guy.
Crum takes the snap. He'll fake the handoff. He's going to throw this one deep. He had him. He had Terrell just 1 step too far. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Didn't look like Terrell knew where that ball was.
Yeah, sometimes tough to track it when it's over the shoulder like that. If he leads him more towards the inside, I think that's an easy touchdown right to his hands. But yeah, like you said, kind of fading back a little bit, trying to track that ball. But yeah, sometimes when we talk about these guys being a little amped up, it's week 1. You see that sometimes in the throws from these quarterbacks. Crum just a little bit excited there because he was wide open.
He'll take the snap, hand it off to Cardamone. Running up the middle, still up. Finally taken down after about an 8-yard gain, 7-yard gain.
And Cardamone again on the run, just shaking a tackler, almost as if he wasn't even there, as you'll see it on the replay. Just cuts it back to his right, shakes off that tackle, keeps his feet moving, and able to pick up a couple.
3rd down and 3, another big 3rd down for the Eagles here. Clock ticking, just over 3 minutes to go here in this first half. O'Neal in motion.
Yep.
Crum takes a snap, he's looking right. He'll throw the short ball to Cardamone, still in bounds, keep going. Breaking tackles, he's still up. Finally brought down from behind. Cardamone able to get down to the 26-yard line. First down, Eisenhower.
And that play largely was set up because Crum, not afraid to get outside the pocket. You watch him his first 2 years here on the Eagles team, had a tendency to stay in the pocket maybe a little bit too long, tried to stand in there and make those throws. Now he's much more alert, much more comfortable getting outside the pocket, makes that a much easier throw.
Crum takes a snap, looking left. He'll throw it up the middle, just underthrown. That pass intended for Hayden Bills. It's going to be 2nd down, 2:30 to go here in this first half.
And number 44, Patrick Rowland, put a hit on Crum after he let it go. And one of Crum's offensive linemen, number 77, Ty Sublier, let him know he wasn't too happy about that hit afterwards. But again, Crum kind of backpedaling, trying to avoid the pressure, throws off his back foot. Didn't actually deliver a terrible ball there, just a little bit too low for the intended receiver, but at the very least didn't take a sack.
2nd and 10, Crum takes the snap. Looking left, goes right. Still looking right. He's going to run. They're going to mark him out at about the 30-yard line.
And it looked like they were trying to set up a little bit of a screen out to the short side of the field. Also had something developing at the top of the formation as well. Looked like Luke O'Neal was out there as a short option, but looked like they wanted to go screen right. Play kind of broke down, so from there, Crum just had to get outside the pocket and try to make something out of nothing.
Crum's got Damasi and O'Neal to his left. Kedro and Terrell to his right. Looking left, trying to roll out. He's got defenders chasing him. Crum all the way down. Ooh! Stopped just before a 1st down. A big hit out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock. It'll be 4th down here.
Yeah, Caden DeGraffenried absolutely lowering the shoulder on Crum. As you see, Rowland came in on Crum a few plays ago, was trying to chase him down from the backside, but DeGraffenried got there first.
4th down and 2, the clock's still ticking, 1:45 to go. They're going to go for it. Crum takes a snap, he's looking right, he's going to throw it up the middle and incomplete. It looked like he got there a little too early, but they're going to say fair game, and it's Dragons ball.
And a big stop for this Lake Orion defense. The Eagles chewed up about 4.5 minutes on that possession. They come away though with nothing, so again, a big stop. They now have a chance with 1:26. Still 3 timeouts to work with, does Lake Orion, to try and maybe come back and put something on the board before halftime. And remember, they do get the ball to start the 2nd half as well.
It's a big 2-for-1 opportunity here for the Dragons.
Again, you see a shot there, Luke O'Neal going up against that left tackle for Lake Orion.
He'll pitch the ball. Unable to get any yards. That's number 22, Darren Jones Jr. They're going to say no gain. And Lake Orion's going to let this clock run.
And I don't necessarily disagree with that decision. Again, they have the ball coming out of halftime. You're only down 4, so getting points necessarily here right before the half, not essential as long as you score coming out of the half. So no harm in necessarily saying, hey, we've put in a good solid first half. We're only down a couple points. Let's take it to the half. Let's make some adjustments and come out ready to go for half number 2.
One thing that we should think about, if Eisenhower's able to get a big stop here, do you think they call timeout?
If they were, I think they would have used one of their 2 timeouts to already stop the clock.
A run up the middle by Robertson is able to break some tackles all the way down the field. He's all the way down. No one's going to stop him. That's a touchdown, Lake Orion. Right as I say it, the opposite comes true.
Yeah, Chris, I like to say it all the time when stuff like that happens. That's why we're up here and they're down there, the coaches making the calls. 22 seconds to go in the half, and Roberson, the second, straight down the sideline, shook a couple tackles on his way to the end zone, and now they have the lead and will most likely have the lead going into half, and they'll also get the ball coming out to start the second half. So a big turn of events there. You talked about, do they call a timeout, maybe try to get the ball back, and at this point I think that it's safe to say we'll just take this thing into the locker room.
Kick is up and good. Lake Orion able to take a 3-point lead. 22 seconds to go here in this first half.
As we take one last look at that run, great vision by Roberson. Eyes downfield, saw where the open area was and just knew that if he could get to that sideline, he could turn it into a track meet, and that was something that he knew he was going to be able to win if he got there. He did, and he just went straight down the sideline. And it's funny too, Chris, because prior to that play, I was going to say the Eagles defense was going to make it into the halftime locker room, feeling pretty good about the way they handled the run in that first half of play. Maybe now that's a little bit of a different tune. Because really, other than that run, they had the, 10 or 12-yard gain way back in the first quarter, one of the opening possessions for Lake Orion, but they also got helped out in that first quarter by the 3 forced fumbles.
Lining up the kick.
Now if you're Eisenhower, especially with the miscommunication you've had on special teams this half, maybe you're thinking run back here to end the half. Who knows?
Kick is away. Take it up the middle, down to about the 31-yard line. 14.6 seconds to go.
And I would imagine that Crum will just hand this ball off, whether to Johnson or Cardamone, one time, and will send it to the half. The Eisenhower dance team and marching band set to perform at half.
He'll take a knee, and that is going to do it here for the first half. A couple big plays for Lake Orion, and they're going to lead this game at halftime, 17-14. We'll be back in a little bit with the second half of action here, Eisenhower football.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Columbia.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game. We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
We would like to thank Esplendido Mexican Cuisine for their 20-year sponsorship of both Utica and Eisenhower football coverage. It's that great taste that helps keep a great Shelby Township tradition going.
With field direction from drum majors Kayla Colby, Ethan Delbeck, and Rosie Seriaco. Field commanders are Divya Bartley, Ian Garden, and Mackenzie Mazzola. Our color guard captain is Peyton Missouri. Colorful place. Look around you. The green of the grass, the yellow of the goalpost, the white on the goal line, and of course the blue and silver of our own Eisenhower Eagles. Our 2022 halftime performance called Colors and Hues examines music through this colorful lens. Drum majors, is your band ready? In our opener, all colors are the new black. In 2006, the band My Chemical Romance released the song Welcome to the Black Parade. This tune was named one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame songs that shaped rock and roll. This song is paired with another monster rock hit from 1980, AC/DC's Back in Black. Our version of these great songs are under the field direction of drum major Kayla Colby and features soloists Divya Bartley and Tyler Turand on trumpet and color guard soloists Ariel Maxwell and Gaze Petro. the German band Nina released a war protest song called 99 Luftballons. An English version of the song called 99 Red Balloons was released later that year. Our version features an alto sax solo by Ian Garden, a flute solo by Hershey Slater, and color guard soloist Kieran Ross. It is under the field direction of drum major Rosie Siriaco. Our closer features another medley of colorful songs. Wake Me Up When September Ends was released by American rock band Green Day in 2005. This sweet song was written by frontman Billy Joe Armstrong about a tragedy that he suffered as a child. The second half of this closing medley is the 1977 hit Mr. Blue Sky, released by the Electric Light Orchestra. Our version of these great tunes is under the field direction of drum major Ethan Delbeth, and features our award-winning Eisenhower Pit Ensemble and Drumline. field cast parental staff and commission. We would also like to thank the Eisenhower Instrumental Music Boosters for their continued support. We hope you've enjoyed the sights and sounds of the 2022 Eisenhower Marching Eagles.
You guys are in the wrong section. Please evacuate the premises. Green is the worst color.
Please welcome to the field your 2022 Eisenhower High School Varsity Dance Team. Eisenhower Varsity Dance Team. Great job, girls. We got some out-of-town football scores. Halftime, Rochester Falcons 21, the Utica Chieftains 14. Halftime, the Romeo Bulldogs 14, the Oxford Wildcats 7. Halftime, we're into the first quarter actually. West Bloomfield 20, Stevenson 7. And we have a final, Dakota 21, Brother Rice 7. Eisenhower football program would like to thank Total Health Systems and Peter J. Lucy, your Macomb County prosecutor, the official athletic booster of your 2022 Eisenhower Eagles.
Welcome back to a barn burner we got here. Eisenhower Eagles and Lake Orion Dragons. Dragons with a 17-14 lead here going into the second half. What a game that we've seen so far.
Yeah, really great job on both sides. Lake Orion, Eisenhower in that first half of play. As you said, 17-14 our score. Eagles helped out a few times by the forced fumbles, recovered 2 of those. Had a miscue of their own on special teams. The punt down at the right side of your screen for those of you watching on Shelby TV at home. But really, other than that, a pretty clean first half from both teams. I'd say Eisenhower did fairly well stopping the run on defense. That's something that in the opening to our broadcast and pregame I said was something to watch out for here in this game. Just really gave up 1 or 2 big runs, but you go into half, you clean some of those things up, and we'll see here in just a moment how they come out to start the second half. But I thought for Lake Orion, other than the fumbles, they didn't play too bad in the first half.
They were able to get some runs up the middle, especially that big one for Roberson there at the end. Like you said, it's only been those 2 plays that have really shot the Eagles in the foot here. The muff punt down at the end and that big run to score a touchdown at the end of the first half. But we're ready for the third quarter of action here as Eisenhower gets ready to kick the ball off. We are underway. Taken at the 5-yard line. Running up the middle, is able to break a tackle, but finally brought down at about the 25, 26-yard line. Kickoff taken by number 10, Dorian Hill for the Dragons. It'll be 1st and 10 for Lake Orion.
Yeah, and Chris, you talked about that long run towards the end of the half that led to the touchdown by Roberson to put the Dragons up 17-14. The Eagles now have a chance to come back out, put their defense on the field, and let's see what they talked about at the half. Let's see what adjustments defensive coordinator David Brzezinski made at the half.
One thing I'm looking to see here in this second half is I do want to see more Luke O'Neill. He had a touchdown there early on in the first quarter. He had a strip sack as well. See if he's able to get some more mentions on the stat sheet in the second half. He'll take the snap with a run up the middle. That was number 10, Dorian Hill, on the carry.
And you mentioned O'Neill. I talked about him in that first half. Kind of ironic. He's used to making the plays on the defensive side, made the plays on the offensive side in the first half. Like you said, want to see him come out second half, make some more plays, have us call his name a little bit on the defensive side. He's been locked up in a very good battle with Jacob Escobedo, the left tackle for the Dragons so far here tonight.
Hill is under center for the Dragons. He'll fake the handoff and roll out to his left. A big hit in the open field. There's going to be a flag on that hit. Tackle made by number 31, Noah Smith there. See this on replay. Holding call on the offense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was on number 11 in white. Dominic Novak, the junior receiver, was kind of tied up with Smith there as he came in for the tackle. And I think that's what led to him kind of coming in low like he did on that hit.
Maybe a hold, maybe a block in the back as well. Connor McCartan is under center now. They're going back and forth with their quarterbacks. They'll hand it up up the middle. Roberson again is able to get free up the left sideline. Finally brought out of bounds by number 1, Brandon Kedro. It's a big first down for the Dragons.
And it's interesting that you mentioned running those 2 quarterbacks out there, McCartan on that last one. From what I've seen, they definitely like using McCartan as the quarterback to hand the ball off, but also maybe throw the ball a little bit. Other option they have, he tends to keep it a little bit more, so Eisenhower should look out for that here in the second half.
McCartan hands it off to Hill. He's trying to get around, but he'll be stopped at the 50-yard line for no gain.
Yeah, McCartan, the senior quarterback on this team. Tristan Hill, just a sophomore.
Coming up to make that tackle, Ahmed Al-Shamui.
And that first Eagles tackler had a chance at it, just maybe didn't take the right line.
Carton takes a snap, he'll hand it up the middle. And he's able to get about 5 on the carry. Number 22, Darren Jones, Jr.
Yeah, looks like Ryan Polisi brought him down in the hole. Just wrestles him down there, had him from behind.
Lake Orion has been able to find these openings up the middle here in the end of the second quarter, starting here in the third quarter.
And that could just be a byproduct of their offensive line settling in a bit more.
Carton looking to throw. He'll get hit, but he's able to complete it to Hill. And he'll get down to the 29-yard line. A big completion on third down. It's first down for the Dragons. A good first drive here coming out of the FAF.
Polisi off the edge. Doesn't look like McCartan really saw him, just able to get rid of it in time. Got rid of it in some traffic, also threw it into some traffic, but able to pick up the first down either way.
McCartan under center. Puts a man in motion and landed off to Robertson. Taken down after a 3-yard gain there. It's going to be 2nd and 7 now for the Dragons. Ball is on the 26-yard line. We're going to get a penalty flag before the snap here. See what we're going to get. Big false start on the offense. They'll lose 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 12 now.
And those kinds of penalties hurt, especially when it puts you behind the chains like it does here, 2nd and 12. Just puts a little bit more pressure on your offense to execute now.
McCartan throws a screen pass in the flat, but the Eagles are able to make the stop for no gain there on that play.
And that's a bit of an easy play for the Eagles defense, especially with their secondary. That's a little bit of an easy read for them. Just swing it out wide. They're able to fight off some blocks. Polisi again getting there for the tackle. Already called his name a couple times here in the early part of the second half.
Carton takes the snap. Looking to his left, he'll go up the middle. Deflected. Big, huge play there. And it may have cost him. We got an injured player for the Eagles. Trying to get a number. Can't tell if it's 22 or 32 there.
Looks like it was 32. Cardamone, he went up, deflected that ball on his way down, just went down grabbing his leg, looks like around that calf area. And they are stretching it out, so
hopefully just a little dehydration here. It's a hot night.
Yeah, it's hot and definitely humid. That air is really thick, so definitely makes it a little bit harder for these guys to breathe, maybe a little dehydrated, even coming out of halftime especially. You know, you get out there, play a couple minutes. We're about 4.5 minutes in here to the second half. These guys have been out here for a couple minutes now on this defensive possession, so yeah, they do tend to get a little bit tired. Again, it's week 1. They're not fully in mid-season form just yet, and that goes with their conditioning, I would think, as well, too.
Well, game time temperature was about 81 degrees, and it has not dropped one bit. Good to see Cardamone get off the field, walk off on his own power.
Yeah, and those hurt. I mean, it's not obviously a serious injury, but when you got that cramp back there on the back of your leg like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can barely walk on that, so he just went down. He was trying to do everything he can to stretch that out, and he'll come out, I would assume, for at least a play or two, but should get out there here in a couple plays.
Lake Orion going for it, 4th and 12. We're going to get a timeout now, called by Eisenhower.
Yeah, from this distance, this would be about a 45-yarder, I want to say, so maybe just a little bit outside their kicker's range. They feel like, hey, you know what? We're up 3. Our defense has actually played pretty well so far here in this one, save for the play action of Preston Crum. So they're saying, hey, you know what? We get this. We don't have to put the ball in the end zone, obviously. We get this first down. We keep their defense on the field, keep putting that pressure on them, and maybe at some point in time we go up a couple scores here.
Now, here's the key for the Eagles. They've given up some big plays there at the end of the first half, and here to start the third quarter. They got to make a stop right here. This is a big momentum shift if they're able to get this stop, get the ball back, get the ball into Preston Crum's hands, see if he's able to make some plays, take this lead.
Yeah, you said it. It's a big stop. Obviously, I mentioned before, Lake Orion has a chance to go up 2 scores here. On the flip side, Eisenhower, as you said, trying to get off the field, prevent that from happening, prevent going down 2 scores. And if they do, they're not in bad field position either. They'd get the ball around their 30-yard line to start, so they could definitely have worse field position to start with as long as they can get off the field here.
Carton is under center with Roberson behind him. He'll take the snap. He's looking to go deep down the sideline, overthrows his target. That was for number 20, Caleb Jones, incomplete. That's a turnover on downs.
And they had Kedro coming from over the top and Luke Myers in coverage on that throw. So it looked like they knew, Eisenhower did, looked like they knew where Lake Orion wanted to go with this ball, and they were prepared for it all the way.
Looks like he did have a step on the defender, but just out of reach. And the Eagles are going to take over on offense here. 7:26 to go here in the third quarter. Crum will take the snap. He's going to throw it to the flat. Breaking a tackle, that's number 30, Kamari Charles. He's going to lose a yard on that play. 2nd and 11 coming up.
Yeah, and I don't know, as we see the replay here, I don't know if Crum wanted to get rid of this ball as quickly as he did. I would have liked to have seen him let his runner Charles get deeper into that route, swing further out towards the sideline, maybe let some of his blocks downfield develop a little bit more and give him more of a chance to get vertical down the field once making that catch, because once he did, there wasn't a lot he could have done there.
Crum will take the snap. He's looking to his right. He'll throw it to the sideline, and it's caught.
That was Temple.
Connor Temple for about a 7-yard reception. It's 3rd and 4. Going back to that first play, that's a play that Cardamone is usually on. And we're watching him right now, see if he's getting stretched out, get a little fluids in him, see if he's able to maybe even make it to the defense series on the next drive. But we hope to see him back soon. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Eagles. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Crum will take the snap, rolling to his left, still looking, and he's gonna be sacked. Unable to escape the pressure. The Dragons are able to end this drive real quick, 3 and out for the Eagles.
Yeah, they brought.
That's going to be number 54 on the sack, Alec Fisher, senior.
And really the one that created that pressure was 41, Chris Hargett. Came off the edge to the top of the formation, really got in Crum's face, made him move back, roll, try to extend that play, and that's really one of the first times Crum's been really under heavy pressure.
A high snap, but they're able to get the punt away. It's going to land at their own 40 and roll past the 50, 45, and die at about the 42-yard line.
And a solid, favorable bounce for Eisenhower there. It took about a 12-yard roll once it landed. As you said, found its way to the other side of midfield. So all in all, not a bad punt for the Eagles. Puts Lake Orion on their half the field to start this drive, but also not bad positioning either for the Dragons to start this possession with a 3-point lead.
Almost a disaster on special teams. Another special teams miscue with that high snap, but they're able to get the punt away. Now here come the Dragons. Throwing deep. He's got a man wide open. That's Hill. Unable to connect, just drops the ball wide open. It did look like he had to stop his stride there, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, tough break for Dorian Hill, wide open behind the defense as Brandon Kedro will hit the sideline. Looks like he's limping. That's something that I noticed on Eisenhower's last possession a moment ago. Came out of the huddle on, I believe it was their 3rd down play, looked like he was limping, so he might have caught a cramp as well as he heads over and grabs a quick drink. But yeah, tough break for Hill on that catch. Might have heard the footsteps coming from the safety trying to catch up to him on that play.
Hill takes the snap, fakes the throw, and he's going to run it up the middle. He's going to get stopped after a gain of about 4 or 5, but we're going to get a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looked like an Eagles player grabbed Hill maybe up high a little bit, and they will get the face mask.
Another brutal penalty now.
Yeah, 2nd face mask penalty of the night for the Eagles defense.
See it right there in the replay.
Yeah, had his hand on the collar and then reached around and got the face mask, so really got him 2 times on that one.
Ball all the way down to the Eisenhower 36-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Lake Orion. Hill looking, is going to run, and he's going to get brought down behind the sticks. Looked like he decided to run, but it's going to be 2nd down and 12 now.
Yeah, Braden Kroll, number 55 in blue, the junior, came off that, fired up. Looks like he got in there to make the play.
Now we're back to McCarron under center for the Dragons. 2nd down and 12. He'll take the snap, hand it off to Roberson up the middle, finds a lane, and is able to get about 5 or 6 on that carry. It's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7.
7 to go, ball on the 33. This is kind of what we saw in the last possession. They went for it on 4th down that possession. If they don't pick it up here, I'd imagine they'll go for it on 4th down again.
McCarron takes the snap. Over the middle, unable to hit his receiver, number 20, Caleb Jones, with a case of the drops. 4th down.
Yeah, and that's tough for McCartan to be putting the ball on these receivers like he's been, and he's at Hill and now Jones with drops here in this 3rd quarter. Just, again, a tough break. Would have had the 1st down, it looked like, had he come up with the catch.
Garrett under center. Rolling to his right, still looking downfield, still looking. He's going to throw it to Hill. Makes a man miss, makes a 2nd man miss, but they're able to finally get him down at the 8-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Dragons.
And just like that, Hill makes up for his drop a few minutes ago, gets a big 1st down. Now it's 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. They're looking to put this ball in the end zone. Also worth noting, some rain starting to fall here at Swinehart Field. People with umbrellas utilizing those.
Ball doesn't seem to go anywhere on that one. It's going to be second down and goal.
And now it's interesting, Chris, because if Lake Orion puts this ball in the end zone, or even if they come away with 3 points on this possession, now Eisenhower's obviously down. They're currently down now anyway, but now they may have to start throwing the ball a little bit more, try to commit to the air game. But now with the rain coming down, that's going to be a little bit harder.
Pitch, fumble, recovered! Number 23, Lorenzo Masseri. It's going all the way down to the 5. And they're going to call a touchdown. Touchdown, Eagles! What a turnaround. We're talking about points for the Dragons. All of a sudden, the Eagles take the lead.
92 yards on the fumble return. And you're right, Chris, we talked about how is the Eisenhower offense when they get the ball back, how are they going to be able to throw the ball around Swinehart Field, try to get back in this game with the rain coming down. And we saw Lake Orion there with a simple pitch on that little option play. Couldn't even pitch it 3 yards.
We got a down player for the Eagles on the other end. That's number 63. And he's able to get up and jog off under his own power. A big turnaround, 2:51 here in the third quarter. Eagles waiting to kick the extra point. But as you said, the rain is starting to come down a lot more as we talk.
And I'll tell you what, Chris, on that return, the rain may have been coming down here at Swinehart Field, but the fans, the Eagles fans right under us here in the booth, they brought the thunder on that return.
A lot of momentum swings here today. We've had a great game so far, and we still got a quarter and a third left here to play.
Yeah, such a great game that we've been treated to here at Swinehart Field in week 1 of MHSA football here on Shelby TV. As you said, Chris, back and forth, neither team really getting a hold, a strong hold on that momentum in this game. Every time we think that it's leaning one way or the other, the door just slams and goes the complete opposite direction.
Kick is up. No good on the extra point. The score remains Eisenhower Eagles 20, Lake Orion Dragons 17. Let's watch the replay on this fumble recovery touchdown.
And it's almost as if Hill didn't expect that he was going to get that pitch. It seemed more reactionary than anything else, just trying to get his hands up to get a hold of it. But again, like we said, it's a little slippery out there. The footballs are going to get a little slippery rolling around on the turf, and right there just looks like it split right through his hands, and on the other end was Mocheri to just pick it up and run.
You know, one thing we should know as the rain continues to fall, 3 forced fumbles in that first quarter for the Eagles. Let's see if they're able to get some more here in the third quarter.
And I'll tell you what, from that, now this being
the fourth.
an unforced fumble, obviously, but their 4th of the game, I think it's safe to say we know what head coach Chris Bell is going to be working on next week in practice with his ball carriers.
Still trying to see if there's any motion on the table. Cardamone is still getting stretched out, but we haven't seen anything from Kedro.
Yeah, it looks like Kedro's out there on this kickoff. didn't really have to go too far, only made it to about the Lake Orion 40. So nice, easy jog for him. He'll stay out there and looks like he'll man his safety position.
Good to see, good to see. We'll have the 1st and 10 now for the Dragons. Ball on the 20-yard line.
But yeah, that extra point missed just a moment ago could prove big in this game. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we head towards the 4th and final quarter of play. Here from Swinehart Field, 20-17 is our score.
It's like Tristan Hill's back under center. He'll hand the ball off up the middle. And then we'll gain about 2 yards on that carry. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And again, if you're Eisenhower defensively, you can live with these 2nd down and 7, 2nd down and 8 situations because they've had a lot of 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s. Lake Orion's mostly been 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 tonight.
Looking across, picked off! Touchdown, Eagles! Ryan missing with the interception. It is now 26-17 Eagles.
And you know what? He saw Mocheri's return. We talked about Polisi a few times early on in the 3rd quarter, made a couple plays back-to-back a couple drives ago against the Dragons offense. And he says, hey now, don't forget about me. I can do stuff too, remember?
The student section for Eisenhower, the 12th fan out here. And just like that, 2 defensive touchdowns for the Eagles. And they're looking to go up 10 here with this extra point.
And this Eisenhower defense is definitely, at least tonight, looking a lot better than it did a year ago, especially against this Lake Orion offense. That's something that I said from the very beginning I was going to be watching out for here tonight. And it's like Coach Chris Smith said in pregame, they want to fly around on both sides of the ball. They want to be making plays, a lot of energy, and we've definitely seen that here tonight. We talk about the 3 forced fumbles, 1 goes unforced but returned for the touchdown. Now they get the pick 6. They are making plays on both sides of the ball, and especially on defense. Just that 1 run essentially to Roberson given up tonight.
And as he said also pregame, a lot of returning starters here on this defense. A lot of returning starters, more maturity, more confidence in this group. Very, very excited to see what they can do this season. And they've shown it tonight. 4 fumbles, 2 recovered, an interception, and 2 defensive touchdowns. And just like that, I mean, game time, it had to have been a minute ago. Lake Orion was on the 8-yard line looking to go up. Another touchdown.
Yeah, how quickly things can change in this game, as we've seen here in the 3rd quarter.
Kick is away, and it will bounce into the end zone for another touchback. And here come that Eagle defense.
And Chris, to that point too, it goes back to making plays when the plays are there to be made. I mean, we talk about, like you said, it was maybe a minute, 2 ago in game time that you saw those couple of drops that Lake Orion had offensively, that especially that 1 to Hill, if he catches that, he's probably into the end zone for a touchdown, and now all of a sudden a 2-touchdown swing the other way for the Eagles. So now, how does Lake Orion respond here down 10 with 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd? Still plenty of time, obviously, but it's how you respond after those big defensive plays.
McCarron under center, avoids a sack, but he's taken down! Number 23 for the Eagles, Moseri, who had the fumble return.
I mean, at this point, Chris, I think Mocheri and Polisi are just in a competition to see who can get their name called more tonight? They have stepped up in a big way here in week 1 for this Eisenhower defense. We've talked a lot about Luke O'Neill. Haven't called his name as much on the defensive side as we have on the offensive, but those two guys in particular have definitely showed up here tonight.
Robertson running up the middle. Excuse me, that is number 22, Darian Jones. And they will get a first down for the Dragons.
And if you're Lake Orion, that's a good run right there. Not only do you get the first down, but you get something positive back after the Eisenhower defense has really put the clamps down here over the last few minutes. And at least for the moment, it quiets this crowd just a bit.
Karen takes the snap. He'll hand it up the middle. And he stopped right at the line of scrimmage, unable to get anything. It'll be second down and 10. Clock continuing to run. We have 1 minute to go here in this third quarter. Second down and 11. We'll take the snap and hand it off. Running up the left side. Jones Jr. for about 2 yards.
And just like that, after that first down run a couple plays ago, Eagles again doing well up front to plug up those running lanes. They've run 2 plays, only gotten about 2, maybe 2.5 yards out of it. So again, a lot of bend but don't break right now with this Eisenhower defense. And you know what? For week 1, there's a lot there that they can work with. And if they clean up just a couple of things, they're going to set themselves up really nicely moving forward.
Third down and 9 here. McCarron looking down the field. He's going to run for it on the left side, and he'll get it running out of bounds to end the third quarter. But at the end of the third quarter, a big turnaround here for the Eagles. Eisenhower with a up 10, 27 to Lake Orion 17. Shelby Township to honor police, fire, military at the 8th annual Patriot Day service. To honor those that protect the community at home and soldiers that paid the ultimate sacrifice abroad, Shelby Township hosts its 8th annual Patriot Day prayer service at 1:30 p.m. on September 12th at the Township's Veterans Memorial. For more information on the Shelby Township Veterans Memorial and all veterans events, contact the Township Supervisor's Office at 586-731-5154.
And we'd also like to take this opportunity to shout out Esplendido Mexican Cuisine Pizza and Spirits. You can contact them at 586-739-1070. Provided us with some excellent food here prior to tonight's game.
Delicious pizza. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. First down and 10 for the Dragons. Now we're going the other way, right to left. Ball at the 46-yard line. Karen takes the snap. He's got pressure. Sacked! Number 20, Nathan Byrne on the sack. That pushes them all the way back to second and 21.
And defensive coordinator David Brzezinski fires him off the edge. You see him coming here off the edge. McCartan just never saw him coming, had his back turned looking the other direction. But what a great time here on first down to bring that pressure to his backside and brought him down for a big loss. I'll tell you what, these coordinators for Eisenhower, Joe Youngblood and David Brzezinski, they know when to take their shots when they need to.
Carton takes a snap, but he trips over his own lineman. That's going to go down for another sack. Third down and 27 now for the Dragons. On a big drive, they're just going backwards.
Yeah, you know, Chris, I think if we were to go through this game quarter by quarter and say who maybe won each quarter, I'd say first quarter definitely went to Eisenhower. Second quarter went in favor of Lake Orion. They went into the half with the lead. Third quarter easily went to Eisenhower with those turnovers leading to scores. Fourth quarter not off to a great start here for Lake Orion either. This is something that I think they just need to take a breath, step back, and just really focus on execution here.
Carton takes the snap. He's looking downfield. He'll avoid a sack. He's going to run for it. He'll get all the way out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Not even going to come close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down at 16.
Yeah, not much he could do there. Had his eyes downfield. And I've talked about it a couple times throughout this game. The job that the Eagles secondary has done, haven't given McCartan much to work with down the field in the passing game, so just tucks it and runs, tries to get anything he can just to give his punter maybe a little more room to try and pin the Eagles back. But again, the wheels sort of falling off a bit here for the Dragons over the last quarter and about a minute and a half now.
Rugby punt away. Picked up. And he'll get taken down at about the 32-yard line. That's Tayshawn Terrell on the return.
And now it's interesting because Eisenhower was able to put those 2 touchdowns on the board without their offense ever even touching the field. So now we get to see this Eagles offense once again take the field with Preston Crum. We'll see what Joe Youngblood has to dial up here on offense with him. We saw the play action worked in that first half. We'll see if they go back to it or maybe play a little more conservative here. Just try to run the ball, take some time off the clock. Maybe if they can do enough of that and run enough time off the clock, maybe have like Orion call a few timeouts.
Looked like Cardamone tried to get back into the game there in the huddle, but they pulled him right back off the field. He's got his helmet on, ready to go back out.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you can't keep him off the field that easy.
Crum looking downfield, he's going to scramble. He'll throw it down the middle, caught! Open man all the way down. That's Hayden Sills. He is down at the 29-yard line. A big first down play from this offense.
And a great job again by Preston Crum using his feet to extend the play, stepped up in the pocket. Again, he's not afraid tonight. I think more so than he was in years past. He's not afraid to extend that play, get outside the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and he has great chemistry. You can see it already with receivers like Bills. We've seen David Temple a time or two, and even Luke O'Neill from that tight end position. Just great chemistry between Crum and these receivers.
We got a player down for the Dragons. That's Joey Bruno, senior. Seems to be a lot of cramping issues happening. Hopefully that's all it is with this one. But as you said, a couple of big drives from the defense. We haven't seen this offense on the field in quite some time. But obviously they're still clicking.
And it's interesting is going right back before that play to what I said. These coordinators have taken shots on both sides of the ball for Eisenhower when they've needed to. And Joe Youngblood says, no, we're not going to run the football. We're not going to try and take some time off the clock. We want to go put this ball in the end zone one more time. It's nice that our defense helped us out a little bit, but hey, we want to score some points too.
Matt Rain starting to come back down again. See the umbrellas popping out here in the stands.
And it's also just good for your offense's confidence too. It's week 1 again, so you still want to put some things on the field, want to try some things that you've worked on all preseason, maybe threw some things out there on the field during a scrimmage or two, and now you want to see it in a real live game, how these guys come out and execute here in week 1 against a solid team like Lake Orion, again, that gave them a good fight a year ago, and it's just a good confidence boost both for your offense, and we've seen a time or two their defense stepped up and has made several plays here tonight. So this Eagles team, you see it as this game is going on, they're getting more and more confident, and that's something that if you're head coach Chris Smith, that you're just absolutely loving.
We'll be back here on Shelby TV for next Thursday as Eisenhower takes on Utica Ford. We got some replay. Let's take a look at the touchdowns again. Once again, this was the fumble recovery all the way down the field. 92 yards for Macheri all the way down the field. I thought he was going to be short, but they came down and called it a touchdown. And now here's the interception. Picked off, returned for a touchdown. That's number 21, Palisi. Big defensive plays to take the lead. As we see Joey Bruno being carried off the field, hopefully he will be all right. We see him back on the field in a few plays.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing more than a cramp. We've seen a few of those here this evening, so hope he's all right. But looking back at that replay from Mocheri, takes that fumble on one hop and just takes it the distance, 92 yards. I wonder if we'll see him maybe a couple times at running back this year. Looked pretty comfortable running down that open field.
As the rain continues to fall, and it seems to be increasing as the minutes pass, we're back to football action. 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Crum takes the snap, he'll hand it off. That is Cardamone. Good to see him back on the field. First play since being injured on defense.
And when I watched them line up in sort of that bunch formation, I was going to say pre-snap, that's something where we've seen, especially going back to last season, they've had the ability to go play action out of that. They bring that guy in motion. They can go end around out of that. We've seen that already with a guy like Cardamone back in the first quarter of play. So there's a lot of things that they can do when they line up in that formation. Looks like they'll go back to it again.
Crum takes the snap, he'll pitch it. It's a flea flicker, he'll throw it down, wide open, touchdown! A double pass. Excuse me, that was number 7, Luca Neal. Now he's got a sack, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. Finding number 85, Connor Temple, for his 2nd touchdown of the game. Eagles up big.
Yeah, I said it earlier on in the quarter. These Eisenhower receivers are really long, they're athletic, and they can catch the ball when you put it up in the air. They will go and make that play. And how about the throw by Luca Neal on that play, putting it right up there for his big man, David Temple, to come down with it.
The kick is up, and it is good. The Eagles have doubled up on the Lake Orion Dragons, 34-17. 8:49 to go here in the 4th quarter.
And it's funny too, Chris, because I talked about on that previous play, when they line up in that formation, they can go play action, they can hand the ball off, they can run a jet motion to the outside, and all of a sudden Joe Youngblood says, wait a minute, we can go double pass out of this too, just watch.
A pitch to Luke Neal and a huge passing touchdown to Connor Temple. A big swing in 5 minutes of game time.
And I don't know, looks like David Temple channeled his inner Karate Kid on that touchdown celebration. I kind of like that.
We'll see it again here. Neal with a beautiful pass.
Yeah, and one thing that goes sort of unnoticed on that play is the execution by the offensive line allowed that play to develop. They gave Neal plenty of time to just sit back there. You saw he had all the time in the world to set his feet, get that ball back, and really launch it downfield.
It's a pooch kick. We got a wet ball, but he's able to get it up to the 35-yard line. As the rain continues to fall here, fans brought their umbrellas, so they are prepared. Dragons start this drive on their own 36-yard line, 1st and 10. He'll take the snap, he'll pitch it. Trying to go left, but there's nowhere to go. He'll lose a yard on that. That was Roberson on the carry. Just a gang tackle there.
Yeah, looks like 33. Christian Johnson got in there as well as he was working off a block.
Takes the snap, he'll hand it off to Hill. Hill running up the right side. We'll get about 7 yards on that, give him a 3rd and 4.
Some fans look like they're making their way to some dry area for the final 7:45 of this game. And here we are sitting up in the nice dry press box. Pretty nice view from up here, I might add.
3rd and 4. Ball gets snapped, handed off, and immediately tackled.
Yeah, McCartan looked like he slipped a bit on the wet turf here at Swinehart Field. Looks like he was lucky to get the handoff before he went down. But not much doing, like you said, Chris, brings up 4th and 6.
Just over 7 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. Takes the snap, looking to his left, trying to avoid the tackle. Still looking, and he'll just throw this ball away on 4th down, and that'll be a turnover on downs for the Dragons. 1st and 10 now from the 41-yard line.
Yeah, that was a bit of a desperation pass by McCartan, just trying to extend the play as long as he can, but that Eagles defense was bearing down on him. You see O'Neal giving chase to him from the backside, just trying to get that ball downfield in the direction of a Lake Orion receiver, but really not much they could have done there.
Here comes the offense that has been clicking on all cylinders here in the 2nd half. After that 3-and-out to start the 3rd quarter, but since then, they've been on fire. Crum will take the snap, he'll pitch it. There's a flag on the play. Running around to the right, it's going to slide down, and that's Tayshawn Terrell. Let's see what this flag is about. Actually in the legal procedure area.
Yeah, it was thrown right at the snap of the ball, so generally that'll go against the offense, as they call an illegal shift.
5 yards, and they'll replay 1st down.
And if you're Eisenhower, you're up a couple scores here inside of 7 minutes to go, but there's still things that, if you're the coaching staff, you want to see your guys doing. And little things like that, the pre-snap penalties like that, you want to see them have a little more attention to detail with, and that's something we talked about earlier in the game, that at times they struggled with a year ago. So again, they're not playing these last 6.5 minutes for nothing. You do want to still see them execute at a high level.
We got a whistle. Looks like there's a malfunction with the down marker, but we are good to play. Crum takes the snap. He'll hand it off. Running up the left side. Gets taken down after about a no gain there. That's number 30 on the carry, Kamari Charles. 2nd down and 15. Clock continues to roll.
Charles will sub out, bring Christian Johnson back into the ball game.
Referees trying to keep that ball dry. They have a towel on their belt there.
Eisenhower lined up in that bunch formation we saw in that last possession.
He'll hand it off for no gain again.
Yeah, more conservative on that play call. You're already up a couple scores, just trying to hang on to possession as long as you can, trying to run off as much clock as you can, so no need to really take a shot there as we saw in the previous possession out of that formation.
Be 3rd down and 14 now for the Eagles.
And going back to my point a moment ago, you still want to see the Eagles obviously executing at a high level, even though they're up a couple scores. And the same goes for the Dragons as well. You're obviously, at this point in the game, probably not going to win, but you still have to execute to some degree.
Crum rolling away. He's just going to throw this ball away out of bounds. That will get back to the line of scrimmage, so no intentional grounding on that one. 4th down.
And that's a good example of that right there. You have that 3rd down and long situation. Your defense gets in the face of Preston Crum, makes him roll deep into the backfield, try to make something out of nothing, and you do get off the field on 3rd down, brings up 4th down and long, so the Eagles will likely punt here.
It's going to be a wet walk back to the cars here at the end of this game.
And I also stand corrected. They keep the offense out on the field for this 4th down.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout called by the Dragons. 4:45 to go here in the 4th quarter. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Shelby TV. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Shelby TV.
And we get a great shot there of the Eisenhower student section still intact, albeit a little more soaked than when they arrived a few hours ago, but that's not putting a damper on their evening as their team up big here in the 4th quarter.
It was a big revenge game here to start the season last year. Lake Orion, as you said in the pregame, over 300 yards rushing, as beating the Eagles 33-7. This is a great turnout for what the Eagles are looking for this season.
And right here we'll see the punt from Eisenhower right around midfield. This is what I kind of expected from them once that timeout was called. Put your defense out there one more time in this game. Let them go out there, continue gelling together, continue executing, and just getting a little bit better with each possession, which is what we saw here tonight. And that gives them some momentum heading into that week 2 matchup like we talked about earlier, Chris, with Henry Ford II next week. Because, I mean, at this point, your offense has kind of showed you everything they can show you in this game. Yes, they do have the 2 defensive touchdowns to go along with it, but I feel like their offense really had a good grasp on this game, and they executed at a high level. Preston Crum made the throws that you wanted to see from him here tonight. So like I said, put your defense out there one more time and give them just a little bit more confidence heading into week 2, because they've played, for the most part, outside of maybe 1 or 2 big runs given up, they've played about as well as you could have asked them to tonight.
Carton takes the snap, handed off to Hill. Hill gets stopped short of the line. That's a loss of about 2 or 3. 2nd down and 13 here, right up against that end zone for the Dragons.
And as you take a look at the replay here, I think if you ask any Eisenhower, maybe coach or fan even in attendance, they'd say maybe a little bit generous of a whistle there, as Hill was being dragged back towards that goal line, so the referees bailing him out a bit there.
Carton takes the snap, he'll hand it off again up the middle. Looks like he'll only get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
And at this point, if you're Eisenhower, you're playing this out. You're not using a timeout or anything like that. In a normal situation, I think if the game was a little bit closer here, you would call that timeout. You've got them pinned back deep in the shadow of their own end zone. But if you're Lake Orion here, you're just trying to pick up a few yards, give your punter some room to work with, maybe get this ball out near midfield on the punt.
Carton hands it off, running up the right side, about 4 or 5 yards. Was number 10, Dorian Hill.
And Hill actually had a chance, as we take a look at the replay, had a chance to get this thing to the sideline and maybe pick up a 1st down if he could slip 1 tackle, but he wasn't able to do so, as Jonah Tchaikovsky brought him down in the hole.
4th down and 7. And the goodbye chants are happening here at Eisenhower.
Yeah, the deep man Terrell stands at the Lake Orion 48 to field this punt.
Punt goes off the side of his foot. That'll go out. Let's see where the referee's going to mark it. At the 30-yard line. Short field for the Eagles.
And I wouldn't expect too many passing plays at this point in the game from Joe Youngblood. I know a couple possessions ago he took that shot when I said maybe try to get the clock moving a bit, run the football a few times. He says, no, first play we're going to take that shot right away, and it worked, so you can't necessarily argue the call. But at this point in the game, just over 2 minutes to go, at this point you're just trying to run out the remaining time as you see the rain still coming down here at Swinehart Field.
Eagles taking their time putting the offense on. They're going to call a timeout. Well, like you said, up next for the Eagles, Henry Ford II coming into town. We'll have that broadcast right here, wherever you're watching it on YouTube or your local cable access channel.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast for myself. This is my 3rd year now calling games here at Shelby TV. It's been an absolute blast getting to do these games live here on YouTube with our fantastic crew that we get to work with. Excited to have you along for the ride here this year, Chris.
Yes, very excited for my first season here. It's going to be a good one.
With this game winding down now, how'd you say your first game went here tonight?
Well, nothing but excitement. Can't have anything better than what we had tonight. An Eisenhower win, a lot of great plays. Crum's going to take the snap. Actually in at quarterback now for the Eagles. That is number 9, John Gowell.
Yeah, he's the backup senior quarterback to the junior Preston Crum. And yeah, you talked about it, Chris, just the excitement around this game. I've had this date circled on my calendar for a long time. I've been super excited to get back in the booth here with Shelby TV and to be able to do these games for another year. And so far, so good.
Minute 45 to go here in this 4th quarter. Gal directing traffic out there. He'll take the snap, pitch it. Running around the left side, that's number 4, Sammy Agnello. But we're going to get a flag on the play, so let's stop the clock. Legal procedure on the offense. We're going to replay 2nd down.
And it's always good in these late situations when the score is out of hand at this point to see some of the backups get in the game, show what they can do a little bit, maybe try to impress some of the coaches on the coaching staff with their talents.
Gowell takes the snap, he'll pitch it. Going around the right side. Taking down, that's number 24, David Scheel, a junior. Clock continues to roll.
And a good handle there by Gowell on that snap, caught it. When he went to turn to pitch it, had to kind of double clutch it there for a second, then able to get a clean pitch off.
Under a minute to go, 50 seconds. High snap. It's a fumble on the ground. It's like they're going to say ball still belongs to the Eagles, and that's going to do it. See if they're going to run one more play. And they won't. Handshake time for the Eagles. A big game, a big win to start this season, especially with the way that last season came. A big first win here against Lake Orion.
Yeah, you know what, Chris, I've been watching this Eisenhower team for a decent amount of time now as a 2016 graduate of Utica High School myself, so I've been around both Utica and Eisenhower for a little while now, watching both these teams. And with the year that they had last year, like you said, very important that they came out here against a team that they saw a year ago, took a pretty significant loss to them a year ago. They come out, they set themselves up with that challenge early on. I'm sure if you talk to Chris Smith, he'll say that that was by design. They wanted to bring these guys in this early in the year, and really test themselves, especially on the defensive side, to see if that defensive front was up to the challenge of stopping that run, which I'd say for the most part they were, outside of maybe 1 or 2 runs throughout the game. But that offense was a lot of fun to watch here tonight, with Preston Crum leading the way. Really has a good idea of where his receivers are within this offense, where he needs to put that ball for them to go up and be able to make that play, and just really fun to watch this Eisenhower team do exactly what Chris Smith told us in pregame, fly around the field on both sides of the ball, just making plays and really just having fun, because at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about.
One of the great things to see here is that maturation of the defense. As we talked pregame, like you said, the defense came back with a lot of starters from last year, a year older, a year better. They came out, and like you said, it was 300 yards, over 300 yards rushing for the Dragons last year. They were able to stop the run, get the win, become 1-0 right here. Well, that's going to do it here for us, Shelby TV. Thank you for watching. Final score, Eisenhower Eagles 34, Lake Orion Dragons 17. For my broadcast partner, Stephen McDonald, I'm Chris Wright. We will see you next Thursday to take on Henry Ford II.